No, obviously that was a new deal for me. That's the first time I've ever had been on the road for a couple of weeks straight. Obviously, we're pleased in week one with how our guys played, and even though how we started off the game wasn't real good, fumbling the kickoff, but I thought our guys had a little faced some adversity in the first game, and but for the most part, physically, dominated the game, on both sides of the ball, especially up front. And we're efficient. We had poor ball security in the kicking game, but we took care of the football and executed pretty well against a pretty good Fresno team. And I felt like going in the second week, obviously lots of challenges being on the road like that, but there was some weather, so we weren't able to practice. We had to practice in an indoor. I think we had about 2 hours to get an indoor, whatever, on Tuesday, something like that. But there were some challenges, but it's like that. Everybody has those, especially this year. I mean, everybody kind of faces the same challenges, and there were a lot of positives in the second game as far as the effort, and I don't think our guys, our people here did an amazing job with all the different logistics, moving that many people. It was a major challenge. But we obviously were disappointed in the way we played. We turned the football over. We self-destructed. Couldn't get any rhythm. Played really poorly, obviously offensively, and defensively we just couldn't. We couldn't get off the field at times when we needed to do it. But I was really proud of some big time effort by the guys, and they went there and fought. It was an extreme physical game. And I thought I was really proud of how hard our guys played. We faced a lot of adversity in the first quarter. I think we played 25 plays on defense in the first quarter. And to go in at halftime 10-7, I went like, wow, man, this team's got some character. And just offense, defense, it wasn't like it was all pulling together. And then we came out the second half, had some productivity, and then missed that field goal, and obviously didn't finish and didn't play very well. But turning the football over, putting the ball in jeopardy, drop balls, overthrown balls, just never could get rhythm. Obviously played poorly, and that's something that we obviously did not want to do in week two, and did not expect that we would face that kind of deal. Obviously, you got the elements and things like that, but there's going to be rain, sleet, snow, whatever it is. That's just part of football, and I think that, for a half, we responded. I thought defensively, our guys, probably played well enough to be in the game and have a chance to win the game. But I was really disappointed with the penalties for the second straight week, and then putting the ball in jeopardy, and then just poor ball security, overthrows, drop balls, all that kind of stuff. And we didn't play very good. And you win and lose as a football team, and you got to get better from that. And so, obviously, we've got to do a lot better job this week and get rid of putting the ball in jeopardy and get rid of the penalties and play disciplined football. And so our guys have had a great week of practice in responding to that, and that's what we expect them to do. But it was, 2-game road trip. We wanted to be 2-0. Obviously, 1-1 coming back. And, obviously, humbled by our performance and hungry that we need to get a bunch better in a hurry, and how important practice and preparation is to do that.
Well, you guys haven't, in fairness, you haven't had a lot of practices. I know that's true for a lot of teams around the country, but for you guys, I think especially with a brand new staff, a team that is just learning new concepts offensively, defensively, the special teams are different. I think it added an extra level of difficulty. And I know you guys aren't going to make excuses, and it's just not your deal. Right. But I want to just say at Wyoming, not only was it cold, it's 7,200 feet. I mean, I know you can say, well, it's mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. But I've been up there a number of times, and you can feel it in your lungs. It's different there. There's a reason Wyoming's got such a good home record.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're 6-0 last year. I think they're 21-6 or 21-4 or something like that. I think it's 21-6 in their last, 27 ball games there. So obviously, it is a tough place to play. I thought they were a tougher football team than what we played, as far as I thought how we matched up with them in that, on the road at Wyoming. I knew it was going to be a big challenge. Got a lot of respect for Coach Ball and the job that they do. I knew it was going to be a physical match. And, we had to do a good job of executing. We couldn't get any rhythm, and that's kind of what happened. And, but no excuses whatsoever. We gotta, you're gonna have to do that. You won't be a championship team. You got to go win on the road and do those things. And the biggest challenge about this year is just, you know, every year we get 4 weeks to get ready. But the problem is, here is that with the COVID and all that, every day you got guys missing. If a guy has a symptom, they're not here. If they have anything, so it's just that's been a big challenge organizationally. But that's for everybody. I think every team we play faces the same things. I mean, it's really a lot of logistical stuff. But I'll tell you this: I like this team. I like how they they're accountable. After the game, we came in. Obviously, I took account. I'm ultimately responsible for 100% of what they do. But I like the attitude of how they approach that. I hate losing, and they sure hate losing too, especially when you self-destruct, when you don't play well, and you don't give yourself a chance. And in these early weeks with these limited practices, it's going to be the team that beats itself. And more than it's going to be another team beating them. And so, but Wyoming, they controlled the ball in the run game. Thought our guys put up valiant effort and fight through the whole thing. And but you got to score more than 7 points to have a chance to win a football game. And so that was something that but we also got some stops, and we had an interception for a touchdown that hit us right in the hands and skipped off our hands and stuff like that. The ball was on the ground 2 other times. We could have got it. We only got 2. We only had 1 turnover on defense. But I can tell you this: these kids got a lot of heart, a lot of character, and they'll respond.
Well, one of the things, there was 2 things I noticed in this, and when things were going a little awry, I was watching you. I didn't know if you were going to be kind of, standing there with your arms folded and unhappy. You were cheering guys and clapping and going up and down the sideline. You were a little more animated than I realized you were going to be.
Yeah, I'm passionate about it. We try to be, I think positive energy is important. All of our guys, I was impressed. When Cortez had the strip on the sideline and we got the takeaway, man, because we had just turned the ball over out there on that, in that situation where one more score, man, it's just gonna make it tough for you. And man, our guys on that sideline were awesome. It wasn't just me; everybody was pulling together, and so I liked it. I think you can tell these guys care about each other. They're close knit group. And I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed the 2 weeks. I enjoyed getting to spend time with these guys. And, I haven't gotten to do that. I haven't gotten to spend a lot of time with them. I spent about 6 weeks. 3 of those weeks I was out on the road recruiting, and or a couple of those weeks. And then, we had about 15-week break there. And then you come back, have a couple of practices. I think a couple of weeks, 12 practices, and then you cancel the season. And then we come back. And so you hadn't had that. So being able to spend time with them on the road, I really enjoyed getting to know them. I think that's big for our staff too, to get to know them, be able to spend some time with them. And so, it would have been, to me, a great experience if we would have figured out a way to win the football game and not play poorly and lose at Wyoming.
Coach, when you're back in this, we talked about this before you went on the trip, that the fact that you had 2, most coaches would say, really, we're brand new here and 2 games in a row on the road. You guys seem to embrace it. And the good news is now you got 4 out of 6 at home. And, that's a good thing. I think you got to love that.
Yeah, well, at one point they were even talking about, hey, Coach, would you be willing to play all 8 of them if you had to on the road? And I said, absolutely. I will play all 8 of them if we had to. We want our guys and our coaches, our program. We wanted to play football, and so I can tell you there was no complaining. When I first seen that, I went like, okay, show me how this works, and we'll figure it out. But that's just, that's you go the hand that's dealt you, and you got to play so many on the road and so many at home. And so, we have half of our road games done right now. So that means we got 4 of the next 6 at home. And obviously that's a great advantage for us.
I want to get a text to you. John from Kaimuki sends in this: Coach, hopefully you'll be playing in a new Aloha Stadium in a few years. What is your vision to improvements for UH on campus football facilities?
Well, one of the biggest things that I'm about is development, is training and development. And, that's probably, probably the single most important thing I think to building a championship program is being able to train and develop your players. First of all, the first thing you have to do is get the right people that fit your culture and your values and what you're about, that are going to represent this state and this university with class and character and toughness. And that's something that I really am big on. And so, our plan, we're working hard right now to do that, is being able to generate and raise money to build a performance center here that would enhance all sports, and to build a state-of-the-art weight room, training room, teaching. One of the things that we need more than anything is areas to teach the game of football, and utilizing technology to do that, and how you deliver that. We do fight time. Time's something we only have so many hours each week with our team, with our players by NCAA rules, and so having a great place that where we can deliver and teach the game of football, classroom settings that are flexible, where you create simulators. Players don't want to listen to you lecture about football or put a PowerPoint up. They like to stand up and they like to go through simulations, do a lot of step throughs, walkthroughs. So you need big teaching areas to do that. Obviously, projection screen technologies to make the figures on the wall life size. There's a lot of things that we can do to really be able to have a team that plays with great discipline and that is able to do more schematically. That I believe in the teacher model, so that's a big deal for me, as well as a training table. And what I mean is as a dining hall that we could use to feed all of our student athletes, and to help them have championship nutrition. So that's probably one of the biggest things, is just to, being able to raise the money to be able to improve our training facilities. That's probably the single most important, the number one thing to me, to be able to develop and to train our guys the way we want to. That's something that's vital in the near future. And so I'm working hard to try to make that happen.
Coach, I've been joking with people because once the NCAA took the lid off what you could provide in terms of meals, we used to joke that, Alabama's got a recruiting advantage because they can bring people to the Crimson Tide 24-hour seafood buffet. And, not everybody has that. There are budgetary limitations. Are you feeling, when you mention around campus, that these are things we would really on our wish list and have shown you're willing to get out and fundraise? Has the reception been positive?
Yeah, I mean, we've got tremendous. I think it's one of the reasons why I came here. I've got a tremendous president and athletic director that want to do what it takes to make a difference, and make that experience for our student athletes be the very best it can be. And so that's something that we want to work hard to improve that. And I think that can really, I think it's the game changer for us. Obviously, we've got to make the selection and select the right personnel that fit who we are, and what it takes to win the Mountain West Conference Championship, and obviously to try to win every game that we play in. But having upgrading that and being able to have I want to lead the league and being able to develop, train, mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way. I want to be the best trained, most disciplined, toughest team in the country. And to do that, it would be a great enhancement to be able to have a state-of-the-art, training facility that you could deliver, championship nutrition, championship strength and conditioning and speed development, and championship, teaching and education to develop them, develop their character, develop their life skills, to teach them how to be a champion in life, and then also to be a smarter football player and a more disciplined football player.
Coach, I'm going to try this one more before we go to break. It's another text. This is Dan from Kapolei. Seems like Calvin Turner has made some positive plays in the Wyoming game. Are there plans to get him more involved in the offense or running game?
Yeah, we think Calvin's a guy who has a lot of potential. He's obviously learning. Yeah, that's very new for him, as it is for a lot of our guys. But he obviously is a newcomer this year, tremendously talented. I was very proud of him, even, in week one, and just how physical he played. He's a former quarterback that was a read zone option type of quarterback at Jacksonville State, I believe. And he's a guy that has great promise. We think he can really do some really good things for us. And I think he's still learning, but he's a guy we definitely want to get the football to, and to become more and more involved in what we're doing. I've been really proud of how hard he's worked to learn what we're doing. And the biggest thing we've got to do is make sure that we get the ball to our best guys, that we don't try to do too much. I think it's one of the things that it probably hurt us last week, is that, if you have too much you're trying to do, it's instead of simply having some things that you can master. And so we talked and evaluated all those things. And obviously, the team we're playing, give up, I think, 17, 18 points last year on the year. Pretty good at home, playing defense, pretty good defensive football team. They had a lot to do with it. I want to make sure we give them credit. But Calvin is a guy that we think is special, and he's a big play guy. He can get the ball in space, do a lot of great things. And so I think you'll see him as we increase each week what we're doing, he'll become more and more involved as well.
I'm guessing, Coach, there may come a time when we're going to see Calvin throw it, because I think teams starting to think when he comes in, watch the run game. Yeah,
he's our definitely. He plays running back for us, and I haven't seen him throw very many balls, but he runs with it pretty well, and he catches it pretty well. So we're trying to get him trained up on that right now. And so he along with Miles Reed, and been proud of Day Hunter, true freshman's come in and played really hard and got thrown into the fire, and been very proud of him. That's a special group of guys there. Those three guys have been really, I think, got a great future.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll step away. Chris Hart's got some things to give away, and then we'll be right back. Call the coach right here with Todd Graham.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It is time to make you a winner. We've got more University of Hawaii football trivia. Now today, thanks again to our friends at the Pagoda Banquets Catering and Restaurant, John Taruya. Johnny T came up with more prizes for us today. Now, in celebration of the Okinawa Festivals celebration, this is what we're going to give away. 1 banana pie and banana bread from the Flamingo Restaurant, 1 oxtail soup from Pagoda Floating Restaurant, 3 KC waffle dogs, 3 Rafute waffle dogs, that's the shoyu pork, and you can pick it up on Saturday at the Pagoda. Now, if you want to order all this great stuff for yourself, like Coach says, it's championship food. You can order at pagodahawaii.com. All right. Now, the number to dial in via text is 296-1420. 296-1420. You got that? Just text the answer. The first one who texts in, you're going to win all of that food that I just mentioned from the Flamingo and KC Waffle Dogs and Pagoda Floating Restaurant. This is really cool. Are you ready? Who leads the Rainbow Warriors in tackles this year? Text it in now. Who leads the Rainbow Warriors in tackles this year? Now, when you text this in and you're like, oh, I have the right answer, but they didn't get back to me. If nobody gets back to you within like about 5 minutes, it means somebody beat you to it. So sorry about that. Okay. So there you go. Question number 1 for all of the great food. Who leads? Oh, Chemo, you got it. Chemo just got it. The answer, Darius Muasau. He's got something like 66 tackles in 2 games. He's a very good player. Okay, here's another question. I think we only have time for one more. We'll make it faster next time. Here's one. Here's a trivia question. See if you can get this. Which University of Hawaii football player has the most tackles in a single season? Most tackles in a single season. Who was it? You might even have to look that up. Who has the most tackles in a single season for the University of Hawaii? Okay, there you go. More with Bobby Curran and Coach coming up here. This is Call the Coach. It's either on Facebook Live if you want to see our beautiful faces, or here on ESPN Honolulu 92.7 FM and 1420 AM. Coach, Bobby, take yourselves off mute and go for it, baby. Bobby's on mute.
We're going to fix that. Keegan told me, don't worry, I'll handle that. Okay, apparently it's good now. Let me get to this, Coach, because you guys are opening your home opener against the University of New Mexico. I just thought, I didn't realize this. A little birdie told me this is like old home week for you, that several of the people on the New Mexico staff have either played or coached with you in your past. So you're going to be familiar, certainly, with some of the personalities.
Yeah, I've coached against, Coach Long, their defensive coordinator, Coach Gonzalez, when he was at New Mexico with Rocky back in my days at Tulsa, and then as well as when I was at Arizona State and they were at San Diego State. So I know them very, very well. Great football coaches, do a tremendous job. They're going to play. Their defense is really an attacking defense. They really can make you look awkward. They do a really great job. And then Derek Wireheim, their offensive coordinator, played for me at Tulsa, and as well as was coach for me at Rice. So, and then, Coach Seymour and Coach Brandon Blackman, the running back coach and receiver coach, were GAs for me at Arizona State. So lots of familiarity with a bunch of coaches there.
So I imagine that's going to make you feel really terrible if you give them a good butt whipping.
Well, I just want to win.
Right.
So we, those guys are class guys and great football coaches, and really proud of what they've accomplished. Derek came from the University of Texas, where he had coached there, and then moved over to be the offensive coordinator in New Mexico. Really proud of him. So he's been, I guess, 2006 is when he worked for me. So great people, great coaches, and our deal is we want to go win this first home game and get back on track and get better as a football team and continue striving for our goals.
Coach, in terms of their offense, I thought it was impressive that against San Jose State, a team that only surrendered 6 to Air Force, without any real practices, they put up 21 points.
Oh, they've got explosive players. They've got receiving core. I think they got a couple of guys, 10-7 receivers, tailbacks, got 3 tailbacks they use. All can, you got to keep them corralled. They're big play capable. Then they got a quarterback who is, can run as good as anybody on their team. And he does a lot of scrambling around, does a great job kind of taking what the defense gives them. They run a lot of read zone, triple, and which is different. And their tempo, obviously, Derek worked for me, and it's something that you can tell that they focused a lot of time on. They really executed well, and there were several drives that they just had a drop ball here, a drop ball there. They was 21-21, and they were right in the middle of the thing. And so they did a heck of a job scoring points in their first week with the minimum amount of time that they had working. So we have to play well. I watched all the games. I watched obviously that game with New Mexico and San Jose. I watched UNLV in Nevada, obviously Boise, San Diego State. I watched every team that we're going to play, and obviously we got the team that wins the league every year is the what everybody's shooting for, but everybody's pretty evenly matched. Everybody has. There's really good athletes and really good players on all the teams that have the ability to score and are very well coached. I was very, very impressed with they're not the New Mexico team from last year. They're very inspired. I know the coaches there, and they're coaching them with a passion. They're much more disciplined, playing better on defense. Obviously, they got as good a defensive football coach and Coach Long working with them that there is, I think. I mean, in my 30-something years of coaching, there's no one I have any more respect for defensively than Coach Long. And they're going to come, they're going to play. They're going to force negative plays. They're going to force turnovers. those type of things. So we got to do a great job of taking care of the football and not having negatives. That's going to be a big thing in the game, and that we can't give up cheap ones. They've got guys with great speed that can get over the top of you down the field. And then they, schematically are going to use a rapid tempo that we've not seen yet, not anything close to it. We're obviously not functioning at that high rate of tempo right now. And so it's going to be a challenge for us.
Want to get this text out. It's from Dallas and Hawaii Kai. Coach, how do you define discipline, and what type of discipline will it take for you and your staff to become Mountain West champs in year 1, 2, or 3?
Well, to me, discipline is a byproduct of developing a culture of character and integrity. If you can get people that come every day and deny themselves and take up the team, and I mean, I'm talking about 100%. It's not like, 90% is not going to get it done. You have to have people that have a servant's heart, that will come and serve. Then it's going to get tough, and they've got to sacrifice. And then they got to be willing to suffer for each other and put the team first, no matter what's best for me or how I'm feeling or what I'm doing, put the team first. And that's just very, very, very uncommon. And so developing discipline requires a unique character, and having people that are givers and not takers, and that are victors, not victims. And so that's the key ingredient, is to develop that type of servants leadership and an example on the football team. So that's one of the things we try to model as coaches. And then I think you have to be smart. You have to be organized. You have to see that as a value, that your intellect and how you study and how conscientious, how well you're prepared. And then you got to have a great commitment. And if you put those three things together, you're able to establish elite discipline. We're a long way away from that. We have great young men in this program. I do feel like that we're well on our way to developing the character that it takes to develop great discipline. But elite discipline I'm not interested in developing discipline. I want to establish elite discipline where you have a culture that is one that I tell our players, the greatest thing that I can teach them is to live their life in the service of their people. And so that's the kind of football team we want to have. And so, that is the key ingredients and that's why training is so important. I mentioned that earlier about why important training and development is so important. And everything, a lot of things our players are hearing outside of here is kind of contrary to that. A lot of individuality, a lot of, kind of how do you feel today? You can't operate on how you feel. You got to every single day bring it with a great passion and just serve your team every day. Big team, little me. And so that's how you develop discipline. The team that does that has the best discipline, is the team that's won this league every year, the last 10 years. You'll see, and there's been different teams do it, but if you, at the end of the season, you'll take, hey, what's the most disciplined football team? The team that will serve and sacrifice and suffer for each other. That practice and prepares with a diligence that is unsurpassed. Those are people who are going to win and be successful. And you're going to find another commonality with discipline is they're going to play great defense. And we want to play offense with that kind of mentality. And so we're trying to instill that culture right now. And obviously we've got work to do that. But man, I like the young men that we're working for, because they got great hearts. They want to make a difference. I'm so impressed when we traveled. I'd watch our guys get off the plane, and I'd walk down through that plane. There wasn't a piece of trash left on there, on any bus, any plane, the hotels, just how they're very gracious, that attitude of gratitude. And so that to me is what I love about coaching, because I think football and college football, it's all about family. And it's all about family values and being able to teach young people what it is to be a champion in life. And so that's the kind of discipline it's going to take for us to be champions. And I know we can get that done. We just have to model that. We have to not compromise our values, and we can't tolerate substandard things. And so we're in the process of doing that right now and working with that. And we have a clear goal every single day, and I want their best, and I'm gonna give them my best every day. And then eventually, if we do that, we got a chance to be the best. So that's what it's all about.
Coach, it's funny because everything you're talking about is sort of at odds with the outside culture. So you really have to swim against the stream and get guys to do it. But one of the things I notice about these guys, you can see they want to be good. They care about each other and they want to be good. I think it's a great starting spot.
Well, and two, we talk a lot, to be a teacher. I talk to them a lot. I'll tell them, hey, what's the greatest thing in your life? It's not football. It's being a son, it's being a brother, it's being a father, being a husband, and living your life in the service of others. That's going to give you the most gratification, right? Obviously, I'm a person of faith, so that's something that I want to serve, my God. I want to serve my family, and I want to serve my football family. And so, one of the reasons why I came here is I think those values are embraced in Hawaii. I think they are embraced here, and I know that our leadership on campus believe in those values of service. And I know when David and I had a chance to visit and talk, we talked a lot about servant leadership. And man, I'm loving every day coming to work because I'm working with leaders that are servant leaders, and getting to teach people, the things that are going to bring them the most joy in life. And so I haven't worked a day in my life because that's what I do to make a living every day, to serve others and serve young people and be a teacher. And so I love teaching, I love doing those things. And you can't, so much out there is, I think a lot of people are sold a lie, that, you're going to play pro football or you're going to make all this money and it's going to make you happy. And that's not going to make you happy. It's not going to, the things that's going to bring you the greatest joy in life is being a father, being a husband, being a son, being a part of this football team is something they're going to miss, man. I mean, I miss that. I get to coach and be close to it every day, but man, to be a warrior on that field and that being a part of that brotherhood is something that's very, very special. And I want to make sure every day I remind them of that and that they don't take 1 second for granted.
Coach, we got a really good text coming up, but we have to take a quick time out. We'll have Jared from Mililani and an excellent question. When we come back, you're listening to Call the Coach with Rainbow Warrior head coach Todd Graham.
Oh, righty there. Hey, hi. Okay. Thank you very much. We had a tough time. We just got a winner, or you did it, baby. The person who had the most tackles in a single season for the University of Hawaii, the name I was looking for was Corey Paredes back in 2010, 151 tackles. But I just looked again, and thank you, Ort, for the text. It was actually Jeff Ulbrich, now the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Jeff Ulbrich had 169 tackles in a year. How about that? Okay, we got more prizes to give away from the Pagoda. They're helping out the folks at the Okinawa Festival, and you can order a bunch of food and pick it up curbside this Saturday at different times. All the details at pagodahawaii.com. Right now, giving away with Football trivia, a banana pie and banana bread from Flamingo, oxtail soup from the Pagoda, 3 KC waffle dogs, 3 Rafute waffle dogs. It's like shoyu pork, and a partridge in a pear tree. Okay, and a mina bird in 1 papaya tree. Here is the question for now. Here it is. Okay, this one I know. Who has, and text in your answer at 296-1420. Who has the most rushing yards in a single game? Wait till you hear these stats. 296-1420. Who has the most rushing yards in a single game for the University of Hawaii? All right, text it in at 296-1420. We're going to go, we'll ask you one more trivia question. We'll give that one a second for the text to come on in. And this one, it wasn't that long ago. I'll give you a hint. This player had a brief stint with the Green Bay Packers and the Canadian Football League. Okay, text in the answer at 296-1420. Okay, here's one. This is for the old timers. In 1973, the Hawai'i football team traveled to the mainland and pulled off what many consider the greatest upset in school history. What team did they defeat by a score of 10-0? Who did they beat 10-0? Oh, somebody just got the first trivia question. By the way, the answer, Alex Green. Yes, Alex Green against New Mexico State had the most rushing yards in a single game. 327 yards on 19 carries. That's 17.2 yards per carry. I remember that game. New Mexico State on the road, 17.2 yards a carry, 3 touchdowns. Does that mean I'm out of time because I didn't start my timer, Keegan? Let me know. By the way, looking for Hawaii's biggest upset.
Correct. Yes, we're coming back on.
10-7. Text in the answer now. In the meantime, back to Bobby and Coach on ESPN Honolulu. Unmute, please.
Well, thank you, Chris Hart. And I am back with Rainbow Warrior head coach Todd Graham. Hawaii going to have its home opener, 6 p.m. at the stadium. Unfortunately, there are not fans allowed, but a great promotion UH is running. I love this. You can get a cutout of someone you love. It'll go in the seats in the stadium. It costs $50 for the season. And get this, Don Murphy, as he's always looking to help, is going to give you, if you buy the $50 spend the $50, he's going to give you a $25 gift certificate to Murphy's. How is that? It's a great offer, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see all those faces at the stadium. I want to get to a text, Coach. Jared from Mililani. I thought this was good. Coach Graham, you've shown that you can come to a football program and have winning seasons immediately in all of your previous head coaching jobs. How do you expect to continue that trend during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, just one step at a time. I mean, I think the key is improvement every day, getting better every day, having a plan. I can tell you that, of the experience that I have in the past, there's not been one more challenging to be a new coach than just not being able to practice, not being able to see your players, not being able to see them. Then once you do start practicing, you've got some missing every single day. And so I don't think a lot of probably people realize the challenges that all football coaches around the country are having right now, because many times we've got people missing practice, not because they have COVID, just because they have a symptom, any type of symptom. Obviously we're very cautious that, they can't come to practice. So we screen every day. If there's any type of, cold or cough or anything like that, they don't practice. So, and they can't be here. So obviously that's the right thing to do, to make sure that we're cautious in what we're doing. But that's probably been the biggest challenge, but is just not having, I'm a practice guy now. I want to practice. I want to develop that continuity. You can't have discipline without it, without training. You can't have, accomplish the kind of, mental toughness and physical toughness it takes to consistently win this game without that. And so my deal is just one step at a time, every day, get better and better each day. I think the hardest thing to do in my experience, all the places I've been, is how you handle success. Week 1 to week 2, I knew that we had to, that we were putting the ball in jeopardy. Even though we didn't turn it over, we were putting it in jeopardy. I knew that the penalties, there were way too many penalties, because your penalties really are a great determination of what kind of discipline you have. And so, we wanted to, that was our main focus, was to improve those two things. And we didn't. And I think a lot of the reason why is, when you're successful and they're saying, hey, look, you can't do these things here. Sometimes it doesn't really resonate until you taste the sting of a defeat. And so I really don't like doing that. It's something we want to be successful every week, but every place I've been able to win every place I've been, because I think that we have a winning philosophy, and if you continue to be diligent in your teaching and training and development, you can be successful. Do things the right way, win every day. that's the key, is just daily improvement. And so that's how we intend on doing it here. And, obviously, there's not, this year, every time you have a setback, it's pretty costly because you only have 8 opportunities. So we've got 6 opportunities guaranteed us to try to get another opportunity and maybe another opportunity. So, there's not much margin for error. So just one day at a time, getting better every single day. And, try to inspire and motivate and teach every day and take what we can do and get better.
Coach, we got another texter, Steve from Manoa. Well, he really wants some information here, Coach. What is the status of returning senior defensive lineman Mason Vega and Makai Manawai, as well as JC transfer Keemon Smith? Also, what is the status for new transfer wide receiver Aaron Cephas?
Yeah, Aaron be active this week. He's had an injury. The other guy,
Mason
Vega and Keemon have had our medical issues as well, but they're still obviously on our team. And what was the other one?
Makai Manawai.
Makai, when COVID hit and everything, he went ahead and took a job, graduated. I believe he got a degree in chemistry, maybe.
Wow.
And so he had a really good job offer. And when all that happened, he moved forward with it. So wish him the very best. Great young man. Enjoyed the time I got to spend with him. But that's kind of the status of those guys. Cephas will be activated this week. He's been injured. And then the other 2 are medical. They're not returning to action right now. And I don't know what their status would be the rest of the year.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about a couple of guys, because I think one of the things that's really fun to be around a football program is a guy that kind of comes out of nowhere. And Sterling Ortiz seems to be one of those guys. He's called on. He wasn't a starter. He comes in, makes plays his tail off. You got to love guys like that.
Yeah, I mean, I had 2 guys last week. We've had a lot of injuries, that have hit us here in these first few weeks, and that's been tough. Obviously, losing Eugene Ford, our team captain, one of the best kids I've ever been around, and then Donovan Dalton actually practiced all last week at free safety. He plays bandit safety in the game, and I thought did a great job for us, and really played pretty disciplined for a guy that didn't practice. It's amazing. And then obviously, Sterling came in and played some free safety for us, and did a great job because Kai couldn't play the first half. So Sterling actually, I think, had been about he was in quarantine, and I think he's only practiced for a couple of weeks. Maybe 2.5 weeks did he even practice. And in that time, he wasn't in the 2 deep, was mostly, scout team and just, watching and trying to learn. And so he has had very, very minimal reps and came in. And in the first quarter, when Eugene went down, Donovan had to move from free safety to bandit safety because, Kai couldn't play the first half. And so Sterling was a starting free safety. And I think he's been here, less than 20 days, and so I was really proud of him. He's a guy that's very instinctual and going to be a great football player for us. Still got a lot to learn. We're working to get him prepared. And I agree with you. He's a guy that just, I was very thankful we had him last week.
No doubt. Coach, you said something a couple of weeks ago that sort of resonated with me. You had said that you try to do, in terms of scheme, what your talents of your players allow. And you kind of mentioned that you're running a defense that's sort of, you're learning it yourself as you're going, because it's not something you've ever run before. You really got to have you got to have some rings around the tree and some cojones to do that, don't you?
Well, I'm a learner. That's one of the things that I'm trying to create in our culture is an atmosphere of learning. And I think just so many times in the mistakes I've made in the past as a coach is just not being willing to learn, thinking that you've got this scheme and you're just going to put this square peg in a round hole, and that's just what you're going to do. It makes logical sense to adapt the scheme to the skills and talents of the players that you have and the players that you can recruit year in and year out. And so I think that's one of the reasons why we've had I'm telling you now, these kids, will tell you, there's not anything that they've done that's remotely similar to what they've done in the past. And, Corey Bethley's playing a position that I don't know if it's a safety or a linebacker. It's somewhere in between there. And Darius Musau, he plays defensive end on third down. He plays inside linebacker, outside linebacker. We move him around. We're running 15 different coverages. We've been practicing for, 6 weeks. I mean, these kids are really bright, and I'm learning every day. And I think I'd rather me learn than to set these guys up not to be successful. And I think we've, and obviously, I mean, it is tougher to play offense right now with minimal practice to be able to execute. So that does help us probably defensively, but I think our guys have really, I think we've seen some of the, the dividends of that. That's why I think we've played, done pretty well defensively. We haven't given up a bunch of big plays. We've been pretty, sound about what we're doing. We've gotten after people and gotten takeaways, and I think we had 5 takeaways in 2 games. Pretty good. We want more than that, but our negative plays, sacks, those type things, and even that just impacting the quarterback, confusing the other team, and all those things are things that I can tell you that I've never run anything exactly like this. And so also that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to learn. I love to read. I love to study. I love to watch film. My coaches will tell you that. I can sit up here all night long. I remind myself to go home because I just love it. And I love seeing the players' faces. When you design this, they know the system is designed for them. I think it really motivates them, and they can tell it's designed for them because, it enhances their abilities.
Coach, I think it's really fun for fans. It's really fun to watch this group fly around. We got another text, but I have to take a timeout first. I think it's an interesting question, Coach. It'll be right up your alley. We'll be right back. Chris Hart takes over. This is Call the Coach with Rainbow Warrior head coach Todd Graham.
And thank you very much, Bobby. And so for you folks who are here on Facebook Live, you see you're getting this. On the radio, they're hearing commercials. So we've got a couple of winners from last time. Good job by you, Ort. He knew that I think Ort got this one right. The team considered the biggest upset for UH, Washington. They beat the Washington Huskies. And I can't remember the other question. Okay. Anyway, real quick, let's get a couple in here. This one's tough, but it's apropos for our current coach, if you know what I mean. Who did the University of Hawaii play in their last bowl appearance while in the WAC? Who did we play our last bowl appearance in the WAC? Who did we play against in that Hawaii Bowl? I'll give you a hint. It didn't go so well for the Rainbow Warriors. Okay, that's trivia question number 1. Text in your answer at 296-1420. This one might be a little easier. And this is for all that food from the Pagoda Floating Restaurant. Somebody got it. Tulsa, yes. From the 203, you're right. Tulsa was the answer, and I believe their coach was one Coach Todd Graham. So there you go. We got a winner for that one. Okay, here's one. This one's easy. Get next to your phone. Who was the first University of Hawaii player drafted in the first round of the NFL draft? Who was it? Come on, text it in. Come on, baby. We only got a minute and 15 seconds left. Give us an answer. Who was the first UH player drafted in the first round of the NFL draft? It's easy. Not a trick question. First name that comes to mind. All right. Well, we'll have to answer that one off the air. Thank you very much to the Pagoda Floating Restaurant and John Taruya and the banquets and catering over there. They got something special going on. Check out their website, pagodahawaii.com. By the way, the winner, Ashley Lilly. Yes, somebody just got it. Ashley Lilly, taken number 19 overall by the Denver Broncos. That was good fun. Thank you very much for playing UH football trivia. Now back to Bobby and the coach.
Thank you, Chris Hart. And as we said, but these hours, Coach, fly because we got about 6 minutes left. But I want to get to Rob's text. He's from Mililani, and he said, Coach, can you describe the difference between the run and gun versus the run and shoot concept?
Probably the biggest thing, the run and gun we're a run, play, action, pass football team. Whereas it'd be more of a balanced system. And it really depends on what they do. So some weeks we could throw the ball, most every down if that's what they give us. And some weeks we can run it if that's what they give us. So the difference is the run and shoot and air raid captive offenses are pass first. And to set up the run, and really, that would be the biggest difference. Even though we want to have, we don't even resemble right now what we haven't quite accomplished. I wouldn't call what we're doing the run and gun yet. So we got to get a lot better at what we're doing. But we want to be the run and gun. How they're similar is we should have a lot more rhythm passing, quick passes, rhythm passes. And what happens when you can't get rhythm, you have drop balls or you have bad throws, or you can't protect the quarterback and you give up negative play sacks, then you don't get very many opportunities, and you can't get any. You got to make that first down to get that rhythm going. So the run and gun, how they're similar, rhythm passing. We're definitely an offense that, we play mostly with 3 wide receivers and 2 running back type bodies. We'll go 4 wide receivers, but we'll use those slot / running backs in those roles. We don't like to change a whole bunch of personnel because we want to go fast. We want to be a fast tempo run, play, action, pass football team that spreads the field horizontally as well as vertically. And probably the biggest difference is that, we're going to take what the other team gives us, and we want to be extremely physical in how we're playing. I just don't think you can play defense. I don't think you can, my belief is that if you want to win a championship, you got to be able to play championship defense. If you can't run the ball, it's hard to work on stopping the run in practice. And so we're in a process of making that transition. We can't go from the run and shoot to the run and gun. It's going to have to be somewhere, in the middle. And I think the first week we got excited and maybe we pushed it too far this way, and we got to make sure we find that happy median. And so the main thing is to be adaptive. This is a transitional time for us, and the players have the most practice in that rhythm passing game and those type things, doing those type things. And so I think it's important that we do that. But the biggest difference is in the name. It's run and gun. It's not just run, run and shoot. And so a lot of people, and even last year, what they did, I actually liked the things that they did, a lot of RPOs and a lot of run, play, action type stuff that are similar to the things that we're trying to do. And we've just got to get where we're executing something. And we were able to do some things the first week, and then weren't very successful the second week. And we got to find where that median is so we have consistency. And that's what the focus has been this week. And that's what we hope to be doing on Saturday to see marked improvement. Coach,
you mentioned that one of your absolutes is this lack of, can't stand the penalties. And I noticed that there were several, false starts. But one of the things that I did see was a couple delay of games. And I'm just thinking, do you view that as a communication thing? Are the coaches partially involved in those, or is that just on your quarterback?
No, I wouldn't tell you. I think it's always coaching and preparation. The fact that we're a no huddle football team and we get to delay a game is just absolutely, completely unacceptable. And that tells you that we're, obviously not, we're still learning what we're doing. I think what happens during those times, there's uncertainty in what they're doing. And some of that has to do with the complexities of how we audible and how we call plays. You know, we're trying to, you know, and I think you can get to where you try to do too much and those kind of things happen. The procedure penalties are senseless penalties that we have to eliminate. And that's something that, and that was a big, I mean, even, you know, last season they had a bunch of them, you know, I think we're 99th in the country, and it's just, you just got to be conscientious about those things. But I think that's all about, I think discipline, players going to meet whatever expectation you set. And you know what we're going to have to do. I told our coaches is that, you know, you jump off sides, you get a legal procedure penalty, just run to the sideline, and you'll start eliminating that. And there has to be accountability, and accountability to coaches and accountability for players. And so we have to eliminate that. We have to, I think so much penalties is about education, understanding the rules, but then those penalties are just penalties that I think are, whether it be, you know, communication, the ones that are happening because we're in a play, we want to change the play. And in that time, those linemen have to kind of sit there, and then you get that little flinch or whatever like that. And we have to eliminate that. That has a lot to do with our presentation and how we're teaching and operating the system. And, you know, it's easy for me, you know, I'm trying to mess up execution, you know, as a defensive coach. As an offensive coach, you have to execute. And it's much harder right now with that. Those are the things that are absolutely killing us. But the legal procedure, they're inexcusable. We need to stop those. The delay of games, the coaches will tell you that that's not something I respond very well to. Those will be eliminated.
Coach, we are flat out of time. I got to thank you for this because these are really fun, and obviously we're getting a tremendous response. People are enjoying it. That's going to wrap it up. So thanks and good luck this Saturday to head coach Todd Graham. From all of us at ESPN Honolulu, I'm Bobby Curran. Aloha.
Aloha.